Hello, it's Maryon Stewart, and I wanted to come and talk to you this evening. Lots of reasons, but first of all, to thank all of you who took part in the poll. We were looking at why people came to join the group in the first place, and lots of you said that you wanted to find out about alternatives to hormone replacement therapy, and many of you said that you wanted to come because you could get some expert advice, which was different to other groups that exist for menopause. So there were other people who came because they wanted to chat to each other. They were feeling isolated and interested to know how other women are getting through the menopause, and that's only natural, and that's one of the reasons why I set up this group in the first place. But probably the reasons I set the group up in the first place were to impart scientifically based information, because there's so much information out there, and I'm sure many of you come here and watch and see what happens when you post something and ask for some advice. You may get literally dozens or sometimes even hundreds of replies, and people are trying different things, and so I wanted to cut through the confusion. And sometimes I feel very confused myself when I read those things, because it's hard to know where to start from my perspective, because obviously I have other things to do besides answer questions, and I could literally be answering questions every minute of every day because there are so many of them. So I just wanted to stand back and think about it. One of the things that I love to do is to see people change from being in a really dark place at the time of the menopause through to feeling themselves again, and maybe even better than they can remember. That's the thing that really makes me get out of bed in the morning. And because I set this group up, because I made some films, some Facebook Live films, and so many, over 1 million women watched the films within the space of 3 months, and then this group came together, I got myself into a situation where I'd been trying to answer questions. Obviously, as I said, I can't answer them all, and so we had a focus group, and then I set up a boot camp, which is a 6-week boot camp, to help women and sort of take them by the hand and help them to create a program for themselves, like the program that I've been running for over 26 years. It's a 5-month program, but at least in 6 weeks I can help women, I thought, to get themselves established on the program and know what they're doing. And it turns out that I'm doing even more than that, because within the space of 4 to 6 weeks, lots of the women feel significantly better. And in fact, just this evening, I had my latest boot camp, which is up to week 4, and several of the women are doing really well. One of them in particular is someone who stuck in my mind, because I'm sure she'll come and share her story with you in the next few weeks, but she was in such a bad place. I mean, she was really in such a bad place when she started, and it is just amazing to see how great she feels now and how excited she is that she feels so well. Her flushes are gone, she's sleeping, she doesn't feel she was having terrible panic attacks and palpitations. She just felt so ill. She really was near the edge. And now she's feeling so much better. And so it made me want to come and talk to you about, and give you hope again, I suppose, because I think a lot of people maybe lose hope when they go down this thread of seeing all the different answers to questions. And, you know, like there's one on there today where somebody said she wants to do this naturally without taking HRT, and lots of people are saying, well, they're trying, and then someone chimes in and says, well, I'm taking HRT, and then someone says, well, I took HRT and I got cancer, and then, you know, where do you go from there? So this group is different to other groups, because the program that I've been running for so long is based on published medical research. It's based on everything that science shows works, and that's why it helps people. It cuts out the confusion, so you don't have to go and wonder or take someone else's view of, well, I tried sage, or I tried black cohosh, and I went to Holland Barrett, or I went to Boots, or I took menopause, or whatever it is, because the science, you need to know what science shows works. If you're going to spend your money, you need to spend it on something that has been shown to be effective, but also safe. And you would be horrified if you knew that a lot of these products that you're talking about, not only are they not standardized, but a lot of them, according to the research, do not contain what they say on the label. So you're spending money not knowing if you're going to get any results at all, or listening to other people who are just as confused as you are, or just because one thing works for somebody, don't forget there's a placebo response. And placebo works for a while for some people, but then guess what? The placebo stops working. And when you get to this point at midlife, you want to know that not only are you going to overcome your menopause symptoms, but you also want to know what's happening next for you in life. What is menopause? It's when your estrogen levels drop. It's when your ovaries aren't working anymore. And those ovaries were keeping everything in even balance. And so when you pass through menopause and you get to postmenopause, you're not going to be better overnight. You're postmenopausal. That's the anniversary of when you had your last period. And at the postmenopause, which goes on for however many years you are blessed with to live for, you've got to look after your bones, your heart, your memory. You don't want to get diabetes. You certainly don't want dementia. You don't want osteoporosis. You don't want heart disease. You want quality life. And the great news is that the program that I use, the science that shows to help to reduce your symptoms or overcome your symptoms, also helps you to reduce all those diseases, the chances of getting osteoporosis, because you fool the brain into thinking you've got normal circulating estrogen again through my program. And so you make new bone. Instead of losing more bone than you're making each year and getting osteoporosis, you make new bone again. You protect yourself from heart disease, you protect yourself from dementia, and you protect yourself from diabetes. Lots of good reasons. Now, I know as human beings we're not great at learning to prevent things because we just aren't. You know, tell someone that smoking is going to damage your lungs. If they like smoking, they're not necessarily going to stop. If they get a lung problem, then they'll stop. And so when you get to menopause, what happens? You get flattened. You get maybe panic attacks, palpitations, hot flushes, night sweats. You can't concentrate. You've got brain fog. You get switched off from the waist downwards. So many unmentionable things happen to you, and we get scared. We don't know what to do, so we clutch at straws. But you don't need to do that. You can actually get better. And that's why I set this group up, because I want everyone to have the same gains that my patients have and that the women in my boot camp have. I want you to understand that you can get better, and it isn't always a question of listening to each other. As much as it's nice to hear how women are managing their menopause, you're not necessarily going to do something that someone else is doing and have that magic effect. I was saying to the women in my boot camp tonight, if you imagine menopause, the solution to menopause is a bit like a pie, and you've got slices of the pie, and those slices consist of taking the bad things out of your diet that are going to impede the absorption of good nutrients, and boosting your nutrient levels with good things, because we know from all the research we've done over the years that very often women have got low levels of important nutrients, and those nutrients can affect your brain chemistry and your hormone function. So that's two slices of the pie. Then you've got to put naturally occurring estrogen back into your diet. Then you've got to find the right kind of supplements that have been through science and been through published research and have been shown to be safe and effective and what they say on the label. And then you've got some exercise and some relaxation to do, and they're all the different slices of the pie. So if you think that you can just take a pill that you're going to buy off the shelf somewhere and not know if it's been through research and listen to someone else's experience and that's going to solve all your problems at menopause, it's an unrealistic expectation. And I just want you to know that this is you've come to this group. That's the first great thing. The second thing is you've got to get hold of the information now that's going to help you make the transition through this journey. And it is only a transition. It's not a life sentence. You've got to make the transition and know you can come out of it at the end feeling brilliant again, leaving all your symptoms behind, feeling energetic, feeling like you've got your libido back, and that you're back to feeling the person that you were before, or better still, better than you can remember. So they're all the things that I really want for you, and you've got the choice of either, I've got on YouTube, which hardly anyone is watching, every single week I make a weekly wisdom film, and if you go to my channel on YouTube, you'll see there are, I think, 30 or 31 films up there now. They're only 3 minutes, so you can go and watch one a day and learn how you can manage all the different symptoms of the menopause. Or come to my masterclass. I talk at my masterclass and I answer your questions. I talk about what's going on in your body in much more detail, how nutrient levels, the depleted nutrient levels affect us, and how you can put back into your body what time and nature's taken out, and how you can source these naturally occurring estrogens so you can get hope back again, so you can self-help. Next week I'm going to be launching a new program, which is a 14-day program, which is a self-help program that you can do, and I'll be telling you more about that when we've finally got the go-ahead for that, but at the moment we're nearly there with that. But I have got a boot camp, and that does run every 6 weeks. And at the boot camp, you get me as well, because not only do you get the material, but every week we have a live session. And like tonight, I go through things in great detail with every single person as an individual, so they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And I do break down all the myths, and I do break down all the problems they're having into minuscule bite-sized chunks, so that we can get them through to being healthy and well again and completely symptom-free. So you've got all those different choices of things that you can do. So I'm just going to answer a couple of questions now, and obviously I don't want to make this too long, but I just picked out a couple of recent questions because I just wanted to give you an example. And if you think about, at the end of the masterclass, I do spend about half an hour answering questions, and at the boot camp I answer questions every single week, and I don't finish until everyone's questions are answered. But obviously we've got over 8,500 members, and I can't answer every single question individually, as you can imagine. But I am going to answer a couple, so if you just bear with me for a second, because there were two things when I just went into the site in the last few hours. A couple of people have asked questions, and I just want to answer them. So Michelle Gamble, so first of all, you are saying, I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but obviously you're very healthy, you're a yoga teacher, you do lots of walking, you're a vegan, you're doing lots of really healthy things and not many unhealthy things apparently, and you are on the point of giving up and thinking about taking HRT. And I just want to tell you what you're missing. Okay, you are missing the fact that you probably haven't got a clue, and understandably so, because none of us are taught anywhere in our lives about nutritional deficiencies and what is a nutritional deficiency. How do we see the physical signs of vitamin and mineral deficiency on our face, on our skin, on our nails, our hair? Because Mother Nature does give us the signs. And if you go into the files section of the group, and in fact I'll post it afterwards, there's a nutritional tool that you can just go through looking at the physical signs to see whether you've got nutritional deficiencies. We know from 5 separate studies that we've had published that very often women have got low levels of magnesium, B vitamins, iron, zinc, essential fatty acids, calcium and vitamin D. And unless you redress the balance and put back into your body what time and nature has taken out, you are running on economy mode, and you're never going to feel really well. So no matter how much good food you have, no matter how much yoga you do, no matter if you think you're doing all the right things, you need to make sure you're in good nutritional shape. And when your hormone levels fall at the time of the menopause, you need to fool your brain into thinking you've got normal circulating estrogen again. And naturally occurring estrogen looks so similar to estrogen when you look at it under the microscope. So if you take naturally occurring estrogen into your lifestyle in the form of food and some supplements that have been through clinical trials, you can literally fool the brain into thinking you've got normal circulating estrogen again. It's amazing. Mother Nature's so clever, but the thing is we're not really educated. We don't really understand how we can do that for ourselves. So my answer to you, Michelle, is don't go and try HRT unless you really want to. It doesn't sound like you want to, because there are so many side effects. I've got somebody in my boot camp at the moment. We're weaning her off HRT because she's got terrible migraines and her blood pressure's gone sky high. So HRT is known for doing that. You've also got the added risk of estrogen dependent cancers like breast cancer. You've got the added risk of stroke and clotting. You don't need to do that. In all the years I've been helping women go through the menopause, I've never needed to use HRT. If you're taking HRT, that's fine. You can do this program as well, but it's not about needing HRT. The research shows that you shouldn't be taking HRT for your whole life. We are living so much longer than ever before. And we may have, midlife represents just halfway house for many of us. We may have an extra 30, 40 or more years, and we want to be able to live in really good shape, in good health, and be able to embrace our lives. And that is so important. So please come to my masterclass, find out more, work out how you can help yourself, or come and join me on my boot camp. Let me help you do something natural and make sure you haven't left any stone unturned. That's what I'd say to all of you before you give in and take HRT. So the other thing that I just was so saddened when it's Annie Marie. I don't know if I've pronounced that right, but you posted a couple of hours ago, and this is your first post. You're only 34 and you've just had a surprise hysterectomy. on Monday, so I presume that was a week ago. You went in to have the remainder of your left ovary removed, and it turned out that you had to have absolutely everything taken out, and now you've gone into a rapid menopause, and obviously you're wondering what on earth to do. So this isn't the first time I've heard this, and this is really sad because there are other women who go through surgical menopause, and you don't particularly want to have to go on HRT for the rest of your life. You just need to learn how to meet your needs, and you can do that. You can put naturally occurring estrogen back into your diet. You can make sure you're in good nutritional shape. You can get lots of comfort. There are some other women, I'm not sure how we'll find them, but we can post, and hopefully some other, I know there's another lady who was 36 and another one who was 38, and there's been some others in their 30s as well, who can be buddies for you and help you to know that you can get through this. It is awful when it happens to you, and it's devastating, especially if you're planning to have more children as well. But if you go into a really rapid menopause and you feel suddenly like a shadow of your former self and overwhelmed by symptoms, it can be really, really scary. And I just want you to know you don't have to feel scared. We are here. If you want to talk to me, just ring Julie or email her, julie@maryonstewart.com, and she'll make you an appointment to talk to me. I'll talk you through your options. There is so much help, and you really don't need to go on suffering. So I just want you to know that you're in a good place and that you will get the help and support that you need to go through this. I have got a film. I'll try and... there was someone called Rosanna who went through my program. She had a hysterectomy when she was 36. I'll post that under here as well for you, so under your inquiry, because I just want you to see what happened to other people. When they get the right information, then they actually get themselves back into really good shape. I'm sorry about the sirens. I'm actually in New York at the moment, and it's like Siren City sometimes, and I can't avoid that. But I hope that you've taken something from this session tonight. I hope that you'll pass this on to your friends. You can share the links to things in the group. I'm very happy about that. Just tell them to come to the masterclass and come and let me give you some really good advice and help so you can get through this transition, because you don't need to go on suffering anymore. I just want you to know that there is a huge bright light at the end of the tunnel, and that you won't have to go on feeling awful. It isn't the beginning of the end. It's a whole new beginning if you just get the right information. And that's why I feel pained by your suffering, and I feel impassioned because I know I can help you to get out the other end of this and feel better again. So just stick with me. If you want to self-help, there's plenty of self-help information. As I said, there's going to be something new coming next week. But if you want some help, come to the boot camp or just get in touch with Julie and she'll explain your options. So I hope you get some sleep tonight. I hope this gives you hope in your heart, and I look forward to helping you in the weeks and months to come. Bye for now.